Hey guys, this is Jason Matthew from Trinidad and Tobago, and today we're going to be answering the question, what is an absolute value? Now, under integers, I have 7 videos. The first video being what are positive and negative numbers, what is an integer, and today's video, what is an absolute value of a number. So I would recommend that you look at these 2 videos first before you look at this one. Other videos to come will be the addition and subtraction of integers, the multiplication and division of integers, exponent, and then the final video in this section will be order of operations. So in today's class, we're going to be using a number line to explain what an absolute value is. We're going to be looking at a real life example, and then I'm going to do some review questions with you to see if you got the hang of it. We will not be covering absolute value equations and inequalities in this video. Look for other videos that I have on the channel that will cover this. An absolute value tells you how far a number is from 0. So that means it's a scalar quantity in that it has size only. It has no direction. So these vertical parallel lines are what we call the absolute value bars. And this will be read as the absolute value of positive 3. Likewise, the absolute value of negative 3 is written like this. So we have 2 questions here. What is the absolute value of negative 3? And what is the absolute value of positive 3? Let's use a number line to get those answers. So let's start with what is the absolute value of positive 3. So we have to find positive 3 on the number line. So that will be this guy here. And remember, we want to see how far it is from 0. So let's go. 1, 2, 3. It's 3 places away from 0. So we say that the absolute value of positive 3 is positive 3. Now let's do negative 3 now. So you have to find negative 3 on the number line. Alright? And then ask yourself the question, how far is negative 3 from 0? So let's go. It's 1, 2, 3 places from 0. So the absolute value of negative 3 is positive 3. Okay. Now let's do these questions here. Now, you know when you see that symbol, that's the pause symbol. So you pause the video and you try these questions on your own and see what answers you come up with. Once you work them out, then you can press play again. I would recommend, some of you might be able to look at it and know what the answer is. If not, use the number line. And when you look at your answer, see if there's a pattern. Tell me if you see a pattern there. So you should have gotten these answers. So the absolute value of positive 7 is positive 7. The absolute value of negative 16 is positive 16. The absolute value of negative 9 is positive 9. And the absolute value of positive 11 is positive 11. So the question now is, do you see a pattern? Now, some of you might say the answer is never negative, and you'll be absolutely correct. Now, others might say, well, another pattern I'm seeing is that the answer is always positive. And if you said that, then you are 99.999% correct, in that for all the numbers except one number, the answer will always be positive. Do you know what number that is? That's right. The absolute value of 0 is 0. But remember, 0 is neither negative nor a positive number. So the best way to say it is this. Absolute values will be non-negative numbers. That is, it can be 0 or positive. So far, we know the absolute value of positive 3 is positive 3. And we know the absolute value of negative 3 is also positive 3. But let's look at this example now and see how it's slightly different. And be very careful of this when you're doing your questions. Now, first of all, we have the absolute value of -3. But we also have something in addition. We have the negative sign. So we have to take that into consideration as well. So what you do is that you work out what's in the absolute value bars first. So this part here is just asking you, what is the absolute value of -3? We already know what that is. It's +3. And then you deal with this negative sign. So in this new line, let's put this. The absolute value of -3 is +3. And we have the negative sign. So what's your answer? Your answer is -3. All right? Now think about it like this. We could have a prisoner and he's in prison here. He's behind bars. And while in jail, he becomes positive. He's good. And he's released from jail. So he's released from the bars. So he becomes out as +3. But once he's outside there in the outside world, he can be influenced by negative things. And he can again become negative. Okay? So that's one way to look at it. Now you try this one. Negative, the absolute value of +3. What would be the answer? Alright, so you should have gotten -3. Because the absolute value of +3 is, as we saw, +3. But we also have this negative side that is on the outside. So you have to take that into consideration. So it's -3. So let's look at a real life example. So it's Saturday morning and Jovan is home. But he has a school project and he needs Kyra's help. So he goes to Kyra's home that is 200 meters away and he's working on a school project that is due on Monday. When he's finished, he then walks to Mateo's home. And Mateo's home is 300 meters away from Kyra. And at Mateo's home, he's playing Mario Kart. He eventually becomes bored of Mario Kart and he decides that he's now going to go to Maya's home and watch a movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And Maya's home is 700 meters away from Mateo's home. But we can ask the question, how far is Jovan when he's at Maya's? How far is Jovan from his home? Okay, so he's at Maya's right now, and we want to know how far he is from his home. Now, in a question like that, you have to take direction into consideration. So if you say that moving in an easterly direction is positive and moving in a westerly direction is negative, you could get something like this. All right, 200 minus 300 plus 700 is equal to 600 meters. But we could also ask another question. How far did Jovan walk? Well, in that question, you don't really want to know about direction. You just want to know how far he walked. You just want to know size or the magnitude. You want to know just the distance. And in that case, you would just add all the numbers up. You would just take the positive values and add them up. So you're going to get 200 plus 300 plus 700. You're going to get 1,200 meters. So without even realizing, you turn the -300 into a +300. You found the absolute values. All right. So you added up the absolute values of these distances to find out how far Jovan walked. So that's one way in which we apply it in a real life example. What I would like you to do in the comment section of the video is that you share with me what examples you all did in class or what examples you are thinking of while watching this video. It will definitely help everyone. So let's do these review questions, people. And you know the pause sign, that means that you have to do them on your own. So I'm hoping that you got a general trend and you should handle that. I'll be right here waiting. All right, good job, guys. So you should have gotten these answers. So the absolute value of +8 is +8. The absolute value of +12 is +12. the absolute value of negative 1,234,684 is its number again. It's 1 million, positive 1,234,684. All right. Now remember, once it's just the numbers between the absolute value bars. You should have realized the trend now is that you're going to get the number again. And once the number is not 0, the number will be the same number, but being positive. It's always positive. All right. Well, that's if it's not 0. Okay. So you see, you had 8 here. We just bring over the 8. You had 12 here. You just bring over the 12. It's always, and it will remain positive once it's not 0. This number here is big, so I wouldn't recommend you use the number line to figure it out. But what you should see the trend is that you're going to see the number, again, that will be the value here, and it will be positive. All right? So it will never, ever be a negative answer for an absolute value. Now, you might say, well, wait a minute. He said never a negative answer. But in this final one, there's a negative answer. What you doing, sir? What you doing? Well, remember, this one is a negative sign is outside the absolute value bars. So first you find the absolute value of negative 27, which is positive 27. But then you have this negative sign on the outside, which you have to take into consideration. So you keep it, and it becomes negative 27. So that's how we do it, guys. So please like, subscribe, and comment on the channel. And thanks for the support, guys. We will talk soon. Take care. Bye.